What I've got in the studio today are two of the best APS-C prime lenses, the Viltrox 27mm F1.2 and the Sigma 23mm F1.4. Both of these lenses will give you effectively a 35mm full frame field of view and are two of the best current options available if you're looking for a walk around street lens. And to help you decide which of these two mighty lenses is right for you, we are going to be putting them head to head. And of course, with this being one of my comparison videos, to add a little bit of extra spice, we're going to be handing points to either or both lenses for each area of comparison. We're going to start things nice and easy here and be kind towards both lenses by first looking at the build quality. And as you'd expect, both of these lenses are made from great materials and I don't have any complaints towards either here. Both feel great in the hand, so let's be kind here and give both lenses a point for overall build quality. Getting into more specifics now and starting with the size and weight, this is where the Sigma does hold an advantage over the Viltrox. Coming in at 340 grams, the Sigma is 220 grams lighter than the Viltrox. I would say the Viltrox is a little bit more on the heavier side for an APS-C lens and is actually more heavy than a Sony a6700. Interestingly, it's even heavier than the lens I'm currently filming on, the Sony 24mm F1.4 G Master, by 115 grams. However, despite that, I wouldn't actually consider the Viltrox to be that much more of a bulkier lens in comparison to the Sigma. My justification being the Viltrox offers extra features, including that standout f1.2 aperture. And when you put an f1.2 aperture in a lens, it's naturally going to be bigger and heavier. So all things considered, the weight of this lens is not bad at all. However, we have to base these things on fact, and the fact is the Sigma is more lighter and compact in comparison to the Viltrox. So for that, the Sigma is going to get the point in this round. However, the Viltrox is immediately going to claw points back in our next two rounds, the first being weather sealing. Whilst both lenses do feature a rubber gasket at the mounting point to protect against dust, rain and moisture, the Viltrox goes much further by offering multiple seal points to protect against the elements. So that is absent on the Sigma, and whilst I have used this lens in heavy rain and it didn't suffer with a single issue, based on facts again, the Viltrox is going to get the point in this round. Another point is going to be for buttons and dials, none of which are on the Sigma. The only control mechanism you get on this lens is a focus ring. Whilst on the Viltrox you get a focus ring, an aperture dial with a D-click switch, an AF to MF switch, and a custom button. That's impressive, so slap that well-deserved point on the board for the Viltrox right there. When it comes to autofocus for photography, both of these lenses perform excellently. They are very quick and responsive, whether it's single point autofocus, continuous or tracking. I've used both lenses extensively with the a6400 and a6700 in the real world, neither of which are letting me down, and I don't think they'd let you down either. So for photography autofocus, we're going to hit them both with a point. Both lenses generally perform well for video autofocus, however, the Viltrox has a tendency to wander and shift focus onto something it deems more interesting, like a tree instead of its intended subject. This was particularly noticeable during some of my walking towards camera tests. It occurred a couple of times, which gave me less confidence in trusting the AF from the Viltrox, whereas the Sigma was constantly nailing focus every single time. One interesting observation during the focus shift test was whilst both lenses handled the transition smoothly, the Viltrox was noticeably quicker than the Sigma. It's worth mentioning that the transition speed was set identically for both lenses, so this speed difference wasn't due to any setting variations. However, I wouldn't say one lens is better than the other here, as transition speeds can be fine-tuned in camera to suit different people's shooting style. In terms of video autofocus, I'm going to give a full point here to the Sigma for its reliability and consistency, while the Viltrox earns half a point since it doesn't quite match the Sigma's consistency from my testing at least. Both lenses exhibit a similar level of focus breathing, and I can't honestly say one outperforms the other here. For video shooters, this is something to consider, particularly during heavy focus shifts between near and far subjects. However, if you're shooting casually and don't frequently make these heavy focus shifts, you should be okay. So for the first time ever in any of my comparison videos, I have two lenses that are equally naff at something. And I can't give a point here to either lens, so I think it's going to be a red mark on the board for both. That's shocking. When it comes to flaring and ghost ghosting, the coatings on both of these lenses are excellent. In comparing the two, I find them to be quite similar overall. The Sigma handles flaring ever so slightly better than the Viltrox, but both lenses exhibit some ghosting. Honestly, I wouldn't say one outperforms the other here. Therefore, I believe it's fair to award each lens a point for their performance in this round. Now let's discuss the big one, sharpness and image quality. I've used both of these lenses extensively, and in real world shooting, neither has let me down. The photos I've taken with each really showcase why both lenses are solid contenders to have in a creator's arsenal. Of course, if we ran lens charts and analysed them closely, there's no doubt these two would be battling it out, each showing strengths in different areas. However, in most practical shooting situations, these differences are minimal at best. Unless you're specifically comparing them side by side, you're unlikely to notice any significant variations. With both lenses, I have been able to take incredible photographs, and both have impressed me equally on image quality, and based on that, I'm confidently giving each lens a point for overall image quality and sharpness. When comparing background blur and bokeh, I would say both lenses have their own advantages here. However, the Viltrox overall delivers more aesthetically pleasing results. Its softer background fall off contributes to a richer, more refined image. Even at the same aperture, the Viltrox produces smoother defocused areas compared to the Sigma. Another observation from these tests is the Sigma shows more fringing while the Viltrox manages it more effectively. I mean, I find it hard to notice any from the Viltrox. So I definitely would say I prefer the Viltrox's background blur fall off over the Sigma's. While the Sigma still delivers excellent results, I feel the Viltrox offers a slight edge in rendering quality. So based on my test, I'm definitely giving a full point here to the Viltrox and half a point to the Sigma. One area the 23mm excels at is with minimum focus distance, which is a common strength on many Sigma lenses. As you can see, the Sigma allows you to get significantly closer to your subject compared to the Viltrox. The minimum focus distance on the Sigma is 25cm, while on the Viltrox it's 28cm. Although the difference is minor and is unlikely to impact most users significantly, it does actually level out the playing field when it comes to bokeh. By allowing you to move closer to your subject, the Sigma can slightly increase the size of the bokeh balls to be more on par with the Viltrox, despite the maximum apertures being different. So in the end, minimum focus distance is actually quite comparable between these two lenses. Whilst the Sigma is a little bit better, it doesn't vastly outperform the Viltrox. Both lenses are quite comparable overall. Given this, I think it's fair to award each lens a point for minimum focus distance here. So now on to our final round, and that is price. And both of these lenses offer a strong price to performance ratio. As of this recording, the prices of these two lenses are very similar. Well, when I say very similar, it's a pound difference. £450 for the Viltrox, £449 for the Sigma. In the States, however, the prices shift slightly in favour of the Viltrox, as this lens costs $491 compared to the Sigma at $529. With such a close price point between these two lenses, I think it's only fair that we give both of them a point in this round, which makes the final scores very interesting. So after 11 rounds of comparison between these two brilliant lenses, the Viltrox has a total of 9.5 points, and the Sigma has a total of 8 points. Which means, based on points, the Viltrox has triumphed over a titan in the industry. That is impressive from Viltrox. So surely now, based on the results, you should pick up the Viltrox over the Sigma, right? Well, I can confidently say that you can't go wrong with either of these lenses. Both are capable of capturing stunning photos and videos. However, if I had to choose just one of these two lenses, and this is a really hard decision because both of them I like. Both of them are brilliant. So this is how I look at it before I give you my answer. The Viltrox has a special quality about it that is reminiscent of some G-Master lenses, and that is a massive compliment to an APS-C lens made by a third-party manufacturer. It's just the buttons, the aperturing, the overall build quality, and the sharpness that all just contribute to that feeling. And the Sigma though is just as sharp in real-world shooting scenarios, but it does have size and weight on its side. Another factor would be the focal lengths. If I could only ever have in my life 2 prime lenses, I'd probably choose a 35mm and an 85mm. And in this case, the Sigma 23mm F1.4 would act as that 35mm lens. So for me, and what I look for in the lens, I would actually choose the Sigma over the Viltrox. However, if neither of those things bother you, I'd say the better choice here is actually the Viltrox. That's mad to say. That is mad to say. Like, how far Viltrox has come over the years with their lenses is impressive. I am very much looking forward to see what they do in the future. So that's going to be a wrap on my comparison video between these 2 brilliant lenses. I do hope this video has provided some good information and insight. But as always, if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below and I will try and get back to you. Also, it would be great to hear which one would you choose out of these 2 lenses and why? If you would like to see some more photography with either lens, then check out these POVs right here. But with all that said and done, until next time, create, explore, and inspire.